Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about Sister's Wife was how Ruhaan was finally released from prison, and then Dua leaves the actor mansion and then she goes back to her mother Amida's house. And of course, Almighty Gazal was happy about this and she decided to use that opportunity to get close to Ada. So let's continue from there. Gazal comes to her room and finds Ruhaan there. Ruhaan pushes Gazal to the floor. Gazal says, "Get lost, otherwise I will call everyone here." Ruhaan laughs and says, "Call everyone. You want to give birth to Ada's baby, right? You have big dreams to be with Ada, but I'll fulfill those dreams." Ruhaan recalls how he heard Gazal talking to Ada and trying to convince Ada to have a baby with her. Gazal panics and says, "Gross, I love you only and I don't want anything with Ada." Ruhaan says, "Enough. I was a fool to listen to you. You kept playing with my emotions, but not anymore. I will break your bones today," and he slaps Gazal hard. Gazal thinks that she cannot even scream while Ruhaan is slapping her because then everyone will find out her truth. She says, "God, please save me." She tries to run and says to Ruhaan that if anyone finds out what you are doing to me, then they won't spare you. Ruhaan says to Gazal that if they find out the truth, then they will not spare you first. "You made me go against Dua. Dua was my best friend and I did so wrong with her. Dua kept trying to tell me the truth, but I never listened to her. You destroyed my life and I listened to you, but you fooled me." Ruhaan says to Gazal that I tried to kill Dua and you destroyed her life. "Thank God I opened my eyes now and I saw the truth. I know now that Dua came to save me when I was kidnapped, but you made me believe that Dua was the one who kidnapped me. Dua left the house and lost everything because of me." Ruhaan says to Gazal that I thought Dua was against me, but it was you who kept using me. I won't spare you. You made Dua leave the house so you could be with Ada. You are an evil person. Ruhaan strangles Gazal and says, "I will kill you today." Gazal is panicking and she tries to get free, but she couldn't. Gazal is choking as Ruhaan strangles her, but Gunas rushes there and pushes Ruhaan away. Gazal coughs. Ruhaan says, "I will kill Gazal. She destroyed my life. I will not spare her." Gazal says, "I will not spare you if you come near me. You are crazy." Gunas slaps Gazal hard and says, "Don't call my son crazy. He is like this because of you. You used him for your gain. I will not let you use my son anymore. He went to jail. He got kidnapped. He destroyed his life because of you all." Ruhaan says, "I cannot live anymore. Please kill me because I have wronged Dua," and he cried. Gunas hugs Ruhaan and asks him to calm down. Ruhaan says, "This girl Gazal fooled me." Gunas says, "I know that. Gazal never loved you. She just used you to get to Ada. That is why I went to Dua to help you." Ruhaan says, "Dua tried to open my eyes. She kept telling me and even put her life in danger, but I never listened to her." Ruhaan feels bad and says, "I tried to kill Dua because of this evil woman Gazal. Dua was right. Why did I listen to this girl?" Gazal thinks that if Gunas goes against me, then I am gone. Gunas says, "Dua, Ada and Gazal are all my enemies. We can't trust them. I trusted Dua, but what did I get? Just cheating. So we can't trust either of them." Ruhaan says to Gunas that let's talk about Dua later on, but first let me kill Gazal. He tries to strangle Gazal again, but Gunas stops him and says, "Don't go to jail because of Gazal. We will take care of her in another way. Please don't do this with your mother. God will punish Gazal," and she stops him. Ruhaan says, "Gazal destroyed my life." Gunas says, "I won't spare Gazal. We won't kill her, but we will give her a worse life than death. I won't spare both her, Dua and Ada." Ruhaan says, "I want to kill Gazal." Gunas says, "Please go for me," and Ruhaan leaves angrily. Gazal grabs Gunas and shouted, "How dare you go against me?" Gunas slaps Gazal hard and says, "I am not Dua. I am on your side, but I am standing with you for my kids only. You should thank me that I kept my mouth shut." She tells Gazal to stay away from Ruhaan and says, "I will kill you if you are seen near my son," and Gunas leaves. Gazal panics and says, "If Ruhaan exposes me in front of Ada, then I won't get my love. But once I give birth to Ada's baby, then everything will be okay. So I have to do something to become the mother of Ada's baby." and if Ruhaan comes in my way, then I will kill him. Dua sees Ruhaan calling her and she takes the call. She says, "Why are you calling me?" Ruhaan silently cries. Dua thinks that what if Ruhaan hurt Ada? She asks what happened. Ruhaan recalls his relationship with Dua. Dua panics and asks if everything is okay. She says, "Did you hurt Ada?" Ruhaan cries hearing that, and Dua panics more. Dua says to Ruhaan over the phone that if anything happens to Ada, then I won't spare you. Ruhaan breaks down and cries. Dua asks what happened. Why are you crying? Ruhaan ends the call and says, "What can I tell her? She used to take care of me when I was in pain. I didn't listen to her when she was telling me the truth. I did so bad with Dua," and he cried. Dua is worried and says maybe Ruhaan found out the truth about Gazal. She says, "I wish I could support him. I hope Ada is okay. I have to find out if everything is okay." Dua calls Ada. Ada sees the call and says, "I can't take the call because then Dua will know that I am worried about her." Ada thinks again that what if Dua have something important to tell me? He takes the call and pretends like talking to Gazal. He says, "I just want to tell Dua one last time that I don't want anything to do with her. She should stay away from me and she shouldn't call me again." Ada pretends again and asks Dua that why is she calling him. Dua cries and says, "Good that you took the call. Are you okay?" Ada says, "I don't have time for you." Dua says, "I know that, but I just want to let you know that your brother needs you right now. He is in pain." Ada asks Dua that what happened to Ruhaan. Dua says, "I don't know, but I think he is in shock and he needs support. Only you can do that." Ada says Ruhaan is your enemy and now you care for him. Dua says Ruhaan was on the wrong track, so I just wanted to protect him and that was why I did everything I did. Dua says to Ada that I think Ruhaan wants to come on the right path now and it is your chance to be his brother. Go and take care of him. Ada says okay. Dua says I am not a fool and I know Gazal is nowhere near you. You pretended and acted nicely about Gazal to keep me away from you, but don't try to lie to me because you cannot do that. And Dua ends the call. Ada smiles and says Dua can see right through me. I am sorry I had to send you away to keep you protected from this house. We have to be separated. Dua thinks that once I expose Gazal, then we will be together again. Ada says I will talk to Ruhaan today and ask him what made him go against me. Dua prays for Ada and Ruhaan's safety. She turns to see Afeez and Amida standing there. Afeez says Ruhaan tried to kill you, but you are praying for his safety. Dua says Ruhaan went on a wrong path, but he is my brother like you, so I will do anything to bring him on the right path. I just hope he opens his eyes soon. Amida says to Dua that are you done? Maybe Ruhaan has seen Gazal's real face, but what about your husband Ada? He is praising Gazal too, and they are preparing to give heir to their family. Maybe they have already taken a first step, and Dua is shocked. Dua says to Amida that my Ada can never do that. He can never replace me. Amida says people change in this age so easily. Didn't you hear what Ada said in front of Ravi? Dua says Ada just wants to protect me. Amida says don't be a fool. That useless Ada tried to divorce you and you still think it is his love? Amida says to Dua that Ada has cursed you of highest order, but you are still blinded by his love. Dua says you are not understanding. Amida says you said that Ada has no feelings for Gazal, but why did Ada want to divorce you? Why did he want to give heir to his family with Gazal? And Dua looks on in shock. Amida says to Dua that you are my daughter, so I can't let you become a fool again and again. What about Ina? She tried to kill you even after all you did for her. What about Rahat? He took you as a daughter, but he changed color so easily. He couldn't be loyal to his kids and wife, so how can he be loyal to you? Amida says to Dua that what about Ruhaan? You raised him like your brother and he tried to shoot you. You keep getting hurt by them, but you just don't see their truth. You brought Gazal home as a friend, but she became your husband's second wife because of your foolishness. Amida says to Dua that Kainat used to roam around you, but she threw you out of the house first. You are blinded by them. Open your eyes and see their real faces. They used you when they needed you, and now they threw you out. They are all animals. Afeez says to Dua that mother is right. Dua did so much for them, but they threw her out like it was nothing. I am angry at myself for loving Kainat. To hell with Kainat and her love. Dua asks Afeez to shut up and says, I told you not to bring your love into this. Afeez says to Dua that Kainat can never become my wife after making my sister cry. I have no relationship with her anymore. Dua says you both are crazy and she leaves from there. At the actor mansion, Hina brings food for Kainat and cries. She says, I love you and I never want to hurt you, but I had to hurt you for you to know the truth. Kainat hugs Hina and says, I knew you cannot be angry at me. You accept my love with Afeez, right? Hina grabs her hair and shouted at her to stop taking his name and says, if you don't end your relationship with Afeez, then I will kill you. You will never get married to that goon. She leaves from there, and Kainat says to herself that I will marry Afeez only. Hamida tells Afeez that I have hope from you. You won't change your decision, right? Afeez says no. I don't want to see Kainat's face. Hamida says you will see her face and love her more because we are going to use Kainat to take revenge for Dua, and Hamida smirks. Grandma stops Hina and scolds her for being cruel to Kainat. Hina says Kainat is my daughter. I want to protect her. Grandma says you destroyed this family and now you are destroying her life. Rahat comes there and asks that what is going on. Grandma says control your wife. She is arguing with me like I am her friend, and Hina looks on. Grandma says to Rahat that Kainat did not eat anything and Hina is still beating her. What if Kainat take a wrong step? Rahat asks Hina that what is she doing? Hina shouted that Kainat is in love with Afeez and I cannot let it happen. Rahat says I will talk to Kainat. You shouldn't be cruel to her. Hina says I'm sorry, but people love here and I have to pay for that. Hina says to Rahat that you fell in love with Gunaz and you destroyed our marriage. Haida loved Dua and destroyed our family, and now Kainat loves Afeez, but I won't let her bring another storm into this house. I will break her relationship with Afeez. She won't die if she remains hungry for some days. Gazal comes there and says Hina mom is right. Dua sent Hina mom to jail and Amida is Dua's mother, so Amida will not spare Kainat if she becomes her daughter-in-law. Grandma says to Gazal that you will soon see fire running down from sky. You destroy Ada and Dua's relationship and now you are behind Kainat. Grandma says to Gazal that I curse you to death, and Grandma leaves from there. Gazal thinks that I will destroy Kainat's affair with Afeez. It was the last thing tying Ada and Dua together, so that relationship must not stand. Ada comes to Ruhaan and sees him sitting sadly. He thinks that Dua was right, that Ruhaan is sad, so he has to find out what the problem is. Ada asks Ruhaan why is he crying. He says you can tell me anything. I can't see you crying. Please tell me. Ruhaan says I remember everything. When I was a child, you used to remain hungry to keep me fed. He hugs Ada and says I miss you. Ada says I am with you and he consoles him. Ruhaan says to Ada that I went far away from you. Ada says no. I feel like I got my brother back today. You are my son and I have my son back now. Ruhaan hugs him and cries. Ada says just tell me if Dua was right. Did you bring the gun to kill me that day? Ruhaan recalls Gazal's words and that Ada and Dua kidnapped him, and he remembered how he got the gun to kill them and he feels bad for his actions. Thank God, now that the most foolish brother-in-law, the most foolish brother, and the most foolish son that I've ever seen in a Zeeworld series has now come back to his senses. Let's see if he's definitely going to support Dua. But does that mean that the problem that Dua is having is going to reduce? Hell no. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.